Welcome to Your Creative Chord, hosted by creative force Jenny Lee Hodgins. Jenny Lee is an author, poet, and hobbyist nature photographer with over 30 years of experience as a piano, music, and chorus educator and performer. As the voice behind Your Creative Chord, Jenny Lee shares inspiring narratives, practical tips, interviews with creators, and uplifting wisdom for nurturing creative flow and inspired living. Join her on this empowering journey where creativity and inspiration meet transformation.
Hi, piano friends. Welcome back to Your Creative Chord podcast, where we focus on empowering your creative flow and personal growth. I'm your host, Jenny Lee Hodgins. Have you ever felt like there's not enough time to practice piano? You are not alone. If you've ever wanted to learn the piano or you're returning to it after a gap, today's episode is perfect for you. Today, I'm going to explain why building a consistent piano practice routine is crucial, yet often very challenging. Whether you're just starting out or you're getting back into it after a break, establishing a steady rhythm is key to your long-term musical success. Let me start by being completely transparent with you. Over the past 8 years, between caregiving for my mother, juggling entrepreneurial work, and serving as an HOA board president and community leader, my piano practice has taken a hit. At times, I've really struggled to maintain a consistent piano practice schedule. So I know personally how hard it is to carve out time for practice when you're a busy adult wearing many hats. But here's what I've learned through these challenges and through my 30 years of teaching piano. It's not about perfection. It's about persistence and adapting to what works for you. So in this episode, I will share 5 powerful strategies to build a steady, motivating piano practice routine that I have personally used, and I've taught it successfully with many students, even when life got chaotic. If you've ever struggled to balance piano practice with a busy life, this episode is for you. So, why does piano practice consistency matter? Well, as I've shared in my book, Start Piano: What You Need for Successful Learning, the research-proven benefits of piano learning for adults are massive. In a nutshell, learning piano boosts overall wellness, it improves and prolongs hearing ability, it enhances your cognitive function, and it helps with physical coordination and eye-hand coordination, and it's a beautiful way to connect with positive emotions within yourself and with others. These benefits of regular piano learning are a huge motivator to keep going. Also, just like learning a language or mastering any new skill, learning the piano requires regular exposure and reinforcement. In other words, repetition. When you practice regularly, you're building your muscle memory and you're developing fine motor skills and gradually improving your overall understanding of music. On the other hand, long gaps in between piano practice can make it feel like you're starting all over again each time you return to the piano. That is what makes progress much more challenging. The good news is, even small, regular efforts add up over time and keep your progress moving forward. Recently, I talked with fellow piano educator Ashley Young in episodes 49 and 50 about how spending shorter bursts of time at the piano can accumulate into much greater musical progress than infrequent, longer sessions. And we also emphasized mutually that shorter yet consistent practice sessions can take the pressure off many busy adults. Knowing you don't have to, make leaps and bounds of progress over really long, exhausting practice sessions can be a great relief. A shorter and more regular piano routine is actually better than infrequent, longer, and more strenuous practice. So check out episodes 49 and 50 for more piano-specific tips to help you move forward both musically and enjoyably. Now, let's talk about some practical ways to build consistency into your routine, even if you have a busy schedule like mine. Strategy number one, set a realistic schedule. Let's start with the foundation. And this might seem really basic, but I have found that it is often the hardest part for many adult piano learners, especially when you have really busy lives. We tend to overestimate how much time we can dedicate, or we overestimate how much time we actually need to practice, which leads to frustration when we can't meet those goals. In my case, I've had to make peace with the fact that I cannot practice for hours like I used to when I was younger. I must work around my busy schedule to fit in piano practice. I have to allow for my caregiver responsibilities, work tasks, and volunteer activities. Now that I live with my senior mother in a condo, I have to be respectful to our neighbors, so I can't practice in the early morning or the late evening hours as I did when I lived in my Florida house. I've had to adjust my expectations and realize that quality over quantity always wins. You must find what works for you. Many students I've taught over the years found that after work, early evening, or even late evening worked best for them. I know others who prefer to practice before work even starts or on their lunch break. My best time is late morning before lunch. I work early in the morning, and then this switch to piano practice before lunch kind of helps me reset and refresh my work energy for the rest of the day. The point is, to manifest quality in your piano practice, you must choose the time of day that best allows you to harness that best creative energy. And we're all different, so you have to choose the best time that works for you. Strategy two, track your progress. Research has shown that tracking your efforts helps you develop a habit. Habits lead to growth. I encourage you to keep a piano practice log or journal. It's something I use for myself too. I created a piano practice tracker. So if you'd like that, you can get it at yourcreativechord.com/piano strategies. If you're already in my new and returning piano learners Facebook group, just use the hashtag tracker in any post or comment and tag me, and I'll send you mine. When I returned to the piano after weeks, or more recently months, of not practicing, I would get frustrated by how I felt like I'd fallen so far behind. But when I track my daily efforts, even if they're small, it reminds me of how progress accumulates. Logging your practice allows you to see progress you might otherwise miss. It gives you perspective on how much you're improving over time, which is a huge motivator. More importantly, tracking yourself aids in training your brain to build that practice habit. Research shows that our brains love rewards, and being able to check off piano practice efforts on a tracker or an app sends a little dopamine hit to our brain. This is the chemical that brings us a sense of pleasure. And when our brain gets that little dopamine, it triggers a desire to get more. And what that translates into, in this case, is seeing more piano practice accumulate. You're training your brain to want that. Tracking your piano practice will help you stay motivated and on track during the tough times when it's hard to keep that rhythm going. Strategy three, use focused short sessions. Practicing for short times with laser focus can be incredibly helpful. If you squeeze in 2 or 3 focused sessions throughout the day, that can be effective in maintaining your concentration instead of all in one big burst. But even if you can only get in one short session, focusing on a specific goal during that time is what really counts. As my former piano teacher used to say to me, mind spent is greater than time spent. With regard to my busy schedule, when I was feeling most overwhelmed, I learned to be mindful of and find enjoyment in even the smallest accomplishments. So, for example, if you can only practice 5 to 15 minutes one day, then do it and give yourself credit for showing up. That counts. It's about building a habit, not pushing yourself to burnout. It is absolutely more effective to spend a little bit of time at the piano every day than to furiously try cramming a lot into one or two infrequent practice efforts. Many students and parents have asked me how much practice is enough to succeed at the piano. For this episode, let's focus on the new or returning adult piano learner. So if you've just started, you need about 10 to 15 minutes minimum for 5 of 7 days per week to see steady progress. Ideally, aim for 30 minutes instead of only 15 minutes. But as I said earlier, it is best to try only 5 minutes instead of missing the day entirely. I've talked about my 5-minute rule many times in our new and returning piano learners Facebook group. If you're on Facebook, I invite you to join the group. It's a supportive group where you'll find like-minded piano enthusiasts encouraging each other toward steady piano practice. It's great for accountability and friendship. And, practicing piano can be a lonely task. So it's very nice to meet other people that are challenging that journey as well. And I'll put the link in the show notes for the new and returning piano learners Facebook group if you'd like to join us. If you're already in the group, just search 5-minute rule to find more videos and posts explaining how to keep your musical progress moving forward, even if you're short on time and energy. Are you returning to the piano like me? If so, depending on your piano skill level, you will see steady progress from practicing 30 to 60 minutes or more daily. That means if you're not a beginner, if you're late, intermediate, or advanced, this is where I'm talking about. If you're just starting or just coming back to it and you're not quite at the late, intermediate, or advanced stage, you can stick with 15 to 30 minutes a day. But if you're a little more advanced and you're just coming back to it, then 30 to 60 minutes per day minimum is a really good start for your daily practice routine. And again, at least 5 days per week. So just aim for daily and regular and strive to avoid skipping days of practice. Those gaps really make your physical and cognitive memory recall so much harder. It's amazing how much easier practice and progress is when you just do a little bit each day and accumulate your piano practice into a consistent habit. The key is to focus on one single goal relevant to your musical repertoire. So depending on your musical level, that could be playing and naming the notes on the staff as you play one hand and then maybe the other hand, or maybe playing 1 or 2 lines of a song or phrases and trying to keep it very fluent, or specifically working on the dynamic level or the dynamic contrast between hands or between those 2 lines. It could mean working on a particular rhythm of a particular section or phrase. Or it could be working on a specific kind of technique like forearm rotation or articulation like staccato or legato, smooth and differences in contrast, or making a legato phrase even smoother, for example. The point is, choose one goal wherever you are in your level that is relevant to your musical repertoire. When you choose 1 or 2 focus points for each short session and you see it through, you will celebrate a small win, and that builds your confidence to keep going. Pardon this brief interruption. I'm Jenny Lee Hodgins, and I'm excited to share 2 resources that can truly enhance your life or serve as thoughtful gifts for those you care about. First, Kaleidoscope of the Heart, a collection of poetry and lyrics, is a beautiful, diverse, and therapeutic exploration of the human experience. My verses reflect my inner transformation and serve as a powerful tool to help others tap into their inherent empowerment. With a range of poetic and lyrical styles and themes, from relationships and nature to self-empowerment and resilience, this collection offers hope and strength through the power of authentic expression. Whether you're new to poetry or a longtime reader, its reflective and spiritually optimistic qualities make it a unique source of comfort and insight. One reader shared, quote, "Jenny has gifted us with a comprehensive dive into universal matters of the heart: nature, relationships, loss and grief, hope, and the artist's life. This poetry offers moments of introspection and illumination about our human condition." End quote. Second, if you or someone you know is interested in learning piano, Start Piano: What You Need for Successful Learning is an invaluable guide. This book covers everything from choosing the right keyboard and finding a great teacher to mastering effective practice techniques. It's perfect for new learners and those returning to the piano. Both books make fantastic gifts as well. For holiday shopping or special occasions, buying Kaleidoscope of the Heart in bulk to share with friends and family is an easy way to spread inspiration and joy. Similarly, bulk orders of Start Piano can equip aspiring musicians and educators alike with valuable tools for success. You can discover both books at yourcreativechord.com/books. I am confident they'll bring value and inspiration to you and those you care about. Strategy 4 is incorporate mindful rewards. This is really important to reward yourself. Learning piano is a lifelong learning adventure, and it's really important to acknowledge your accomplishments along the way. I've always taught my thousands of students over the years to celebrate their wins, whether it's mastering a new piece or simply sticking to a routine for a week or maintaining it amidst life's inevitable challenges. On my piano practice tracker, there's a section for daily and weekly rewards. Rewards can be anything that makes you feel good, like treating yourself to a favorite snack, or taking a break to enjoy something you love, or spending time doing another hobby. Some of my daily rewards include sight reading a new piece of music, or improvising for a few minutes at the keyboard, or recording my pieces using my computer or recording software on my computer. You might also consider using personal touches in your practice area that inspire and motivate you. For instance, you could add a favorite quote or a picture of memorable performance or a musical image that creates a positive environment that reinforces your commitment. Now, I know you can't see this, but right in front of me is a picture that my mother painted of a piano. And I have little musical symbols that I hung up at the top of the wall. And if you can see around me, I surround myself with my photos or that little butterfly image back there I painted, a paint by numbers, because I love monarch butterflies. I used to raise them in my garden. And I have images and paintings that my mother painted as well. So I just do this to create a more personal, positive environment that kind of inspires me to be creative. And this is where I practice as well. So you could do that for your own creative space. Spend some time making your piano practice area personal and inviting for you. For my weekly rewards, I often embrace a bit of mindfulness, maybe a quiet walk in a local park, or immersing myself in listening to music while reading or doing yoga, or just closing my eyes and enjoying it. Something that reminds me to appreciate the progress I have made. It's a reward, something I enjoy. Sometimes I'll purchase concert tickets, like to our local Lexington Philharmonic, or treat myself to a special outing like Frankenboom's ice cream locally, which is really yummy. Acknowledging small victories builds momentum. Back to that dopamine habit builder. Rewarding yourself is a positive reinforcement loop. The more you reward yourself for your piano practice efforts, the more likely you are to keep going. Consider adding a ritual or a small celebration after each practice session. Like you could jot down a quick note about what went well. This can help reinforce positive feelings associated with your piano practice routine. I know I personally get really excited whenever I check off my weekly piano practice tracker. It immediately reminds me that I have done something amazingly positive for myself. And I know that tomorrow's piano practice session will be easier because I've built up muscle memory and cognitive familiarity with the music. Finally, overcome distractions and stay flexible. As I know all too well, life is predictable in that it is unpredictable. Distractions are inevitable, whether it's work, family, or health. There have been periods in my life when I couldn't practice at all. I'm literally coming out of one of those periods right now. And it's a reminder to me that it's okay to face challenges and to be flexible with myself about my piano practice routine to address those challenges. But here's what I know: the key to overcoming these inevitable interruptions to my piano practice routine is to use self kindness. It's really easy to feel discouraged when you miss a few days, weeks, or even months or years of practice. But it's not about how much you've missed. It's about your determination to get back on track. I've missed chunks of practice over the years, but I remind myself that every effort is for my benefit and enjoyment. I also know that one of my mentors, Herbie Hancock, who is a jazz pianist, internationally famous, talked much about how when someone asked him, "How do you develop your piano talent?" he said, "You live your life." Human being, I'm paraphrasing, but he said, human beings, in order for you to be a great artist, you must really be a human being. You must experience life as much as possible. And so there have been periods of my life when I had time away from regular piano practice because I had other life events or important chapters of my life that I had to attend to. But I trust from years of experience of going through this kind of thing, my life's absorbing all of that. And when I do get back to the piano, all of that life experience, just like Herbie Hancock, encouraged, it's in your life. And you bring that to the table when you go back to your music practice. It comes out in greater musical expression overall. So just remember that every effort is for your benefit and enjoyment, and that music's in your life. And just come back to it and make a fresh determination to get back on track. The point is, staying flexible is really crucial. And it can be really helpful to have a backup plan for practice time, like setting a reminder or finding alternative moments in your day when you might fit in a brief practice session. I've gone through that myself because as a caregiver, sometimes my morning routine gets interrupted by having to take my mom to her doctor appointments or wellness routine type things when the weather shifts. I can't get her outside in the heat, so I have to shift my schedule to maintain her wellness. And so I have alternate moments in my day so that if I miss my morning practice, I can still fit it in around lunch or, in the afternoon, etc. So if you're flexible like that and you find alternate moments to fit it in if something happens, you can still make some progress even if your usual routine is disrupted. If you miss a day or two, or you've been away from the keyboard for a whole chapter of your life, please don't give up on the piano. Just start fresh the next day and keep going. Piano progress is not a straight line. It's a cycle of effort, accumulation, rest, absorption, incubation, and renewal. As long as you keep coming back to it, you'll continue to grow musically. Sometimes after a break, I find that my approach is renewed with more awareness or a fresh perspective. And this brings a new level of appreciation to my musical journey. So, for example, if I'm out of the loop of practicing, instead of pressuring myself to be exactly at the same level of skill I was before the gap of time, I might approach it with, let's just be curious and sight read this piece. Or let's just be curious and play through it lightly, or let's just be curious and improvise a little bit just to see what happens and just have fun with it. Don't put any pressure on it. This really does bring a new level of appreciation to my piano learning journey. These strategies for building a consistent piano practice routine that I've talked about today will help you find a rhythm that works for you and make your piano journey more enjoyable and effective. Remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about making progress and finding joy in the process. As a bonus strategy, consider the power of community to support your piano journey. Engaging with a supportive community can significantly enhance your motivation and accountability. For example, in the New and Returning Piano Learners Facebook group, you'll find a network of fellow piano learners who share your goals and challenges. This group offers a really safe space to connect, exchange experiences, and receive encouragement, making it easier for you to stay on track with your piano practice routine. And being a part of a community provides not only motivation, but also practical practice tips and shared wisdom from others who understand the ups and downs of learning the piano. The accountability and support from group members can really help you maintain consistency and make your practice sessions more fulfilling. For additional support and inspiration, please come and join us in the New and Returning Piano Learners Facebook group. The link is in the show notes for you. Also, don't forget you can grab your free piano practice tracker, and I have an Unlock Your Piano Potential ebook for free, and you can get both of those at yourcreativechord.com/piano strategies. Again, that's a free piano practice tracker to help you stay on top of your practice, and my Unlock Your Piano Potential ebook, which is excerpted tips from my book, Start Piano, What You Need for Successful Learning. You can get all of that for free at yourcreativechord.com/piano strategies. No spaces. These foundational tips and strategies will help you get started or return to and stay on track with your piano progress. Thank you so much for tuning in to Your Creative Chord podcast today, where we are dedicated to empowering your creative flow and personal growth. I will see you next time.
Thank you for joining this episode of Your Creative Chord. We hope the discussion has inspired and empowered you. If you've enjoyed today's episode and have ideas you'd love to share or topics you'd like us to explore further, we'd love to hear from you. Leave us a review on your favorite podcast platform. Your feedback not only helps us improve, but also guides the direction of future episodes, ensuring we continue to inspire and empower our amazing listeners like you. For more updates, inspiration, and community interaction, visit yourcreativechord.com/get-inspired-here. Your engagement and feedback are deeply valued. Until next time, keep embracing the places where creativity and inspiration meet transformation in your daily life. Thank you again for engaging with Your Creative Chord. Take care and have a harmonious day.